Hey there, I'm Nina with Nina Suggs Watercolor. I wanted to share this little gingerbread man cookie painting and let you know that you can get the full tutorial over on my website at www.ninasuggswatercolor.com. So what I've done here is I've wet the surface of the paper with water, and now I'm going over it with just a light wash of yellow paint. And you see to the right there on my palette, I mixed some red and some yellow together with a little bit of blue to create sort of a burnt sienna color. So I've already put one wash on, wet onto wet, and then this technique is wet onto dry. So I'm just adding this second wash of this color. After this has started to sink into the paper a little bit and dry, you'll see me coming in with a brush that just has clear water on it. And I'm dropping that water onto the surface of the barely damp previous wash just to create some more texture into this cookie. In this tutorial, I'm going to be sharing a lot of techniques with you. And I created this for people who are new to watercolor, just wanting to start out, or maybe you've been painting for a little while and you're wanting to learn some new techniques. So what I'm doing here is I've put a little bit of water in these areas where you see that I'm also adding some paint. So what I do is I add a little bit of water and then I pick up my pigment and I drop that in. And the reason I'm doing this is because the light is shining on the top of this cookie from the upper left-hand corner. Therefore, everything on the right-hand side is going to have some shading and shadows because of the way that the light is shining on it. And this is also going to create a three-dimensional look. So I'm putting all of this on to give this cookie the look of 3-dimension and some depth and shape. This is a very beginner-friendly tutorial, and as I said, it is free on my website at www.ninasuggswatercolor. There will be a link provided below for you to click on to go and get your free tutorial on my website. So I'm trying to get everything finished up here as far as the shading and the shadows, and some areas needed to be a little bit darker. I tend to like to paint in layers. So what you see me doing here is I'm painting around the areas where there is frosting. So of course the frosting is on top of the cookie and the light is coming from that top left angle, which is also creating a little bit of shadowing effect from the frosting on top of the cookie. So that's what I'm putting down here now. Once I get this done, then you're going to see me putting shadowing and that type of thing in other areas, such as the zigzag frosting around the arms and the ankles. And the frosting is not actually blue, as you see here. This is masking fluid. Masking fluid is a substance that you'll use to keep your paint and water off of that area of your watercolor paper. So when you remove it, the paper is crisp, clear, and white, and you can paint what you need to in those areas. So you'll see here momentarily that I will have taken this blue off, and I'm going to start painting in the eyes, the mouth, the buttons, and I will add a little color to the frosting around the wrist and ankles, and then we'll finish up with the bow. Just finishing up this little bow here, going back around some of the frosting on the arm on the right-hand side, and then finally down here around the little ankle on the right-hand side. This was really a fun tutorial to create, and it took me about an hour. So I'm painting the eyes and buttons and mouth in now with some black paint that I created using my yellow, red, and blue. And you see that the places that were blue are now white. That is where I took the masking fluid off. If you look real close, you're going to see some speckles on top of this cookie, and this is a splattering technique that I share in this tutorial, and I show you how to get this look and keep the background of your paper protected at the same time so that the cookie looks like it has cinnamon and nutmeg and all those great flavors that go into a gingerbread cookie without getting the splatters on your background. So here we go. I've got my red, which is quinacridone rose, and I'm mixing my yellow in it because I wanted my red to be a warm red. So that's why I mixed some yellow into my quinacridone rose. Now I'm getting this all painted in, and then I'm going to add some blue into this red mixture. That's going to create my shadow color. And you see me painting that in there now. Then I'm going to come back with a brush that just has some clean water on it. It's barely damp, and I'm lifting up some of that red paint to give this little frosting bow some shine and highlight. So I've removed the remaining masking fluid. I have a damp brush, and I'm just knocking some of the whiteness off of those highlights so that they're not too bright. So there we have our little gingerbread man cookie. I think that you will enjoy this painting. It's quick, it's easy, it's fun, and you can go to www.ninasuggswatercolor.com to get your free tutorial. Thanks for watching.